I try and play poker once a month. I enjoy it. I've got lots of friends in poker, but it's not something that I need to be doing. I don't need to play. So I can be selective with who I play with and when I want to play. I want to win at the poker table, but while the chips are in play, they're not real money. So it's like a game. But I won't do whatever it takes to win at the poker table. Like I won't dwell on the river with the nuts and try and get someone to call me. I won't moody, I won't Hollywood, I won't act. If a mistake was made, I'd tell someone to take their money back if they made a genuine mistake. So someone bet like 50k when they're meant to bet like 5k. You know, I would always have good etiquette that way. So I'd say I'm non-competitive at the poker table. I probably look like just a fair is how I would describe myself.
And you said you went around university teaching people about your 10 golden rules.
Yeah.
When you're playing in these highest stakes in the world and you're mixing and socializing with these players, what are some of the attributes, the key attributes that you see that they have that players at lower tiers don't have?
Well, it doesn't necessarily work that the higher the stakes you go up, the better the players. Let's say, for example, say, if you play say a 25-50 game in Vegas, I think that's going to be like tougher than the 200-400 game in Ivy's room. Because when the stakes get to a certain level, professional poker players can't afford to play at those stakes. So you're almost taking out most of the pros. So the only way, for example, the only way a pro could afford to play in the biggest games in the world is if he's staked. And people don't really like to stake people in cash games too much. It's like, it's risky, isn't it? It's not trackable. So I think once you're kind of going above like 500 1K blinds, you're losing the pros and you're just playing against mainly businessmen. So the standard drops. So you don't need to be that good to kind of break even.
Right.
So it's kind of a weird curve. You up the stakes harder and harder and harder. And then the next level of stakes, which is probably like 5 or 6 games in the world, the pros aren't really in those games.
As you get higher though as well, like is there more skills needed than just technical ability? So if you go, for example, that time when you're in the mirror group and the guy's just about to kick you out the door and you have to think on your feet dead quick and go, right, I'll take that job for half of it. Like, don't you have to have a bit of savvy about you to get in these games? Maybe not, you said they're not all in the top higher games, but is there a different, like, you've got a Chris Moorman, right? You've got a Toby Lewis, who could consistently play in these games, but they're not there. And then you've got a Stephen Chidwick who is, for example. Like,
there's not many of these players in the high stakes tournaments who are actually playing all by themselves. They're standing and swapping off pieces. If you're talking about high stakes cash games, people are normally playing with their own money.
Right.
So you're just pricing, who is the richest poker player in the world? You're pricing almost all of them out. I mean, some of these games that get played like 5K, 10K PLO, I mean, what poker player in the world can play those? So I think when the stakes get to these limits, you're just pricing out poker players. They just don't want that variance. Like, how many poker players are prepared to lose 1 million in one session in reality of their own money? And I think generally at the higher stakes, it's just at the nosebleed stakes, you're just coming up against an opponent who's more similar to yourself. And these games are very gentlemanly as well.
Right.
I've seen people have like a 2 million pot and somebody's made a mistake with a hand and the guy said, take your money back. You kind of see a lot more differences at these stakes, but you do see the same faces as well. See the same people, so people become friends. And I think naturally when you become friends with people, you don't want to skin each other. So it naturally becomes more of what I would call a social experience. Like, for example, a lot of friends are flying out to Rio at the Party Poker Millions. We don't want to skin each other. We're flying out to chat with each other for a few days. So the nature of the game is not really cutthroat.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different at the high stakes in the world. Friendship, less pros. So it's a different experience. It's more of a sociable experience and probably less competitive. My name is Rob Yong and I am High Stakes Poker.